The bright lights appeared in the night sky over Earth. At first, people thought they were new stars. Then the large metal ships came closer. They were alien ships from the Galactic Confederation. In Seoul Command Center, Commander Sung watched the main screen with worried eyes. The aliens sent a message that said they wanted peace, but their ships were positioned for attack, not friendship. "Something's not right," said Director Minho, pointing at the screen. "Those ships are in battle formation." Commander Sung nodded. "Alert all defense stations. Tell them to be ready but not to fire unless fired upon." The aliens, particularly a group called the Mindari, had been watching Earth for months. They saw humans building weapons and training armies. The Mindari leader, Captain Daehyun, believed humans were dangerous and needed to be controlled before they reached space. "They are violent by nature," Captain Daehyun told the Confederation Council. "Their entire history is filled with war. We must strike first." The Council did not agree. They wanted peaceful contact, but Captain Daehyun didn't listen. While the Council prepared a peace delegation, he secretly ordered his ships to attack. Tu-1. First missiles hit New York, Tokyo, and London without warning. Millions died in the first hour. The Mindari expected humans to surrender immediately. They were wrong. Commander Sung was in the middle of a meeting when the first reports came in. The room fell silent as they watched Tokyo burning on the screen. "They've made a terrible mistake," Sung said quietly. Within hours, Earth's militaries joined together like never before. Old enemies became allies against the new threat. In underground bunkers, scientists worked to understand the alien technology from debris that fell to Earth. Technician Jiho found something interesting in a piece of a crashed alien fighter. "Their targeting systems use a different light spectrum than ours," she explained to Commander Sung. "That's why they can see our jets, but we can't see theirs." Within 3 days, Jiho and her team created a new radar system that could detect the alien ships. Now, Earth could fight back. The Mindari were surprised when their second attack wave met resistance. Human jets, now equipped with the new radar, intercepted the alien ships over the Pacific Ocean. Using simple but effective tactics, the human pilots targeted the weak spots on the alien vessels. "Impossible," Captain Daehyun muttered as he watched the battle reports. "They shouldn't be able to adapt this quickly." In the Confederation's main ship, Ambassador Young-ho was furious. "The Mindari acted without permission. This attack was not authorized." But it was too late to stop what had begun. When a damaged Mindari ship crashed in rural China, humans captured their first piece of intact alien technology. Engineer Junho led the team that studied the ship's engines and weapons. "We can reverse engineer this," Junho said, examining the strange metal of the ship's hull. "Their technology is advanced but not magical. We can understand it." 2 weeks after the first attack, Earth launched its first counterattack. Instead of using their most advanced weapons, humans used simple, modified commercial satellites to disable 3 Mindari ships in orbit. The aliens never expected an attack from what they thought were harmless communication devices. In Seoul Command Center, Commander Sung received the news of their first victory with a grim smile. "Send a message to all defense forces," he ordered. "Tell them we now know the enemy can be hurt." The Confederation Council finally learned of the unauthorized attack and immediately sent messages to Earth apologizing and asking for peace talks. But humans no longer trusted alien words. They attacked without provocation. President Han told the emergency United Nations meeting, "We will defend ourselves with everything we have." As more alien ships arrived in Earth's orbit, humanity prepared for a long war. Factories that once made cars now made tanks. Computer programmers wrote code for battle systems instead of video games. Everyone worked together with one goal: survival. Captain Daehyun watched Earth's preparations with growing concern. "They aren't surrendering," he told his officers. "They're organizing for war." His second-in-command looked troubled. "Perhaps we should have studied them more carefully before attacking." "It's too late for that," Captain Daehyun replied. "We chose war. Now we must win it." But on Earth, Commander Sung and his team were already planning their next move. They had learned an important lesson about the aliens. They underestimated humans, and that was going to be their biggest mistake. The blue light of computer screens lit up faces in the underground command center. 3 weeks had passed since the first alien attack. World leaders met in this secret place beneath the mountains of Switzerland. Admiral Jiwoo stood before them, her gray uniform crisp despite 3 days without sleep. Maps and battle plans covered the walls behind her. "We are no longer separate nations," she said. "We must become one force or we will all die separately." The room fell silent. Old enemies looked at each other across the table. Then the American president stood. "We agree. Earth must stand united." One by one, every leader stood. That day, the Terran Defense Coalition was born. Admiral Jiwoo wasted no time. She appointed Taiho, a brilliant young general, to lead the ground forces. Soman, a former tech company CEO, would lead the science division. "We don't need to match their technology," Jiwoo told her new team. "We need to use what makes humans special. We adapt, we improvise, we overcome." Across the world, factories changed almost overnight. Car assembly lines now built armored vehicles. Fishing boats were fitted with radar and guns. Computer gamers were recruited to fly drone fighters. In his lab, engineer Hyuk worked day and night studying the captured alien ship. He discovered something surprising. "Their systems are actually simple," he told Soman. "They're just different. They use light where we use electricity. They use crystal where we use metal." "Can we use their technology?" Soman asked. Hyuk smiled. "We already are." 2 days later, the first human-modified alien weapon was tested. It worked perfectly. Production began immediately. The Mindari continued their attacks, but now Earth was fighting back. Human fighters, nearly invisible to alien sensors thanks to new stealth technology, destroyed 3 major Mindari battleships over Africa. Captain Daehyun couldn't understand what was happening. "How are they learning so quickly?" he demanded. "It should take them years to understand our technology." His science officer looked worried. "We may have underestimated them. Their history shows they develop fastest during wartime." In orbit, around Mars, Commander Do-hyun led a small team on a secret mission. Their target, an unmanned Mindari supply ship. Using spacesuits designed with materials that blocked alien sensors, they approached the ship silently. "Remember," Do-hyun said, "through the radio, we need this ship intact." With laser cutters designed by Hyuk, they cut through the hull and entered the alien vessel. No alarms sounded. The aliens never imagined humans could reach them in space. 2 hours later, Do-hyun sent a simple message to Earth. Package secured. The stolen supply ship contained something invaluable: the Mindari battle plans. For the first time, Earth knew what the enemy was planning. Admiral Jiwoo studied the translated plans with her top officers. "They're going to attack these 7 cities next," she said, pointing to the map. "But they don't know that we know." General Taiho grinned. "So we set a trap. When the Mindari attacked Seoul, they expected an easy victory. Instead, they found the city defended by weapons they didn't know humans had. Half their forces were destroyed in the first hour. The rest retreated in confusion. Similar scenes played out across the globe. Every Mindari attack met unexpected resistance. Human forces seemed to know exactly where they would strike. In the Confederation's main ship, Ambassador Young-ho finally convinced the Council to intervene directly. "The Mindari started this war without permission. You must stop them before humans think all of us are their enemies." On Earth, the first big victory came when Lieutenant Minji led a special team that captured an entire Mindari battleship with its crew. Using a computer virus developed by teen hackers, they shut down the ship's systems and boarded it before the aliens could respond. "They relied too much on their technology," Minji reported. "When it failed, they didn't know what to do." The captured ship became Earth's first space battleship. Engineer Hyuk and his team quickly modified it for human use. Within days, it was ready for battle. Captain Daehyun received the news with disbelief. "Impossible. Humans in one of our ships? Fighting back in space?" His officers looked at each other nervously. No one wanted to tell him more bad news. 3 more Mindari ships had been lost that morning. Admiral Jiwoo stood on the bridge of Earth's new battleship. Through the viewport, she could see Earth shining blue below. Her communications officer turned to her. "Admiral, we're getting a signal from the Confederation Council. They want to talk." Jiwoo nodded. "Good. But tell them we'll talk after we've shown them one more thing." She turned to her weapons officer. "Target the Mindari command ship. It's time to show them humans don't just fight wars, we win them." The Mindari command ship exploded in a silent flash of light. On the bridge of Earth's first space battleship, Admiral Jiwoo watched without emotion. This was not a moment for celebration. It was simply necessary. "Signal all Earth forces," she said. "Phase 2 begins now." 3 months into the war, humans had moved beyond defense. Now they would show the aliens what human warfare truly meant. Colonel Jinwoo led the first stealth team into the asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter. His 20 ships, painted black and running silent, carried drilling equipment and soldiers. "We'll build bases inside the larger asteroids," he explained to his team. "The Mindari will never expect us to hide here." Within weeks, humans had hidden bases throughout the asteroid belt. From these secret locations, small attack ships could strike alien supply lines and then disappear before the Mindari could respond. Lieutenant Suman specialized in a different kind of warfare. In her underground lab, she studied alien communication, systems captured in battle. "They use a single network for all their ships," she told Admiral Jiwoo. "That's their weakness." Suman's team created a virus that could enter the Mindari battle network. When activated, it sent false information to their ships. In one battle, the virus made 20 Mindari ships fire on each other, while human forces watched from a safe distance. The Confederation Council was shocked by human fighting methods. Ambassador Young-ho tried to explain to them why the Mindari were losing. "Humans don't fight by the rules we understand," he said. "They use deception, surprise, and psychological warfare. They study our patterns and then do what we least expect." Engineer Dong-hyun created perhaps the most effective weapon, Operation Ghost Fleet. Using salvaged parts from destroyed alien ships, he built simple drones that appeared on Mindari sensors as full battleships. "We can make 10 fake ships for every real one," Dong-hyun explained as he demonstrated the system. "Their sensors can't tell the difference." The Ghost Fleet confused the Mindari completely. They wasted weapons and time attacking empty space while real human ships struck from unexpected directions. Captain Dae-hyun, now leading the remaining Mindari forces, grew increasingly frustrated. "How do these primitives keep outsmarting us?" he shouted at his officers. Their technology was barely space-worthy 3 months ago. His tactical officer spoke carefully. "They adapt faster than any species we've encountered, and they have something we don't have." "What's that?" Dae-hyun demanded. "Experience with war. Their entire history is filled with it. We've been at peace for centuries." On Earth, a captured Mindari officer watched human children playing a war game in a park. The children divided into teams, used sticks as weapons, and created complex strategies to defeat each other. "Even your young practice warfare," he said to his guard. "Not warfare," the guard corrected. "Problem-solving, teamwork, adaptation. The same skills that are helping us beat you." In the asteroid belt, Colonel Jinwoo's forces perfected hit-and-run tactics. They would emerge from hiding, strike critical targets, and disappear before the Mindari could respond. The aliens began to fear the asteroid belt, calling it the human nest. Lieutenant Suman found another weakness in Mindari systems. Their sensors couldn't detect objects moving at certain speeds. She helped design small, fast attack ships that could approach Mindari vessels undetected and attach explosive devices to their hulls. "We don't need to match their firepower," she explained. "We just need to find the gaps in their defenses." The most surprising human tactic came from General Minjun. He ordered his forces to broadcast certain sounds during battles, sounds that the Mindari found disturbing due to their sensitive hearing. The aliens had to modify their communication systems, making them less effective. "Psychological warfare works on any species," Minjun said. "Find what disturbs them and use it." 6 months into the war, the Mindari had lost half their fleet. The Confederation Council finally ordered them to stop fighting, but Captain Dae-hyun refused. He had committed too much to admit defeat. "We will launch one final massive attack," he told his remaining officers. "We will target their leaders and break their will to fight." But humans had anticipated this too. Admiral Jiwoo had placed decoys of world leaders in obvious locations, while the real leadership remained hidden in unexpected places: ordinary houses, small towns, even mobile command centers disguised as delivery trucks. When the Mindari launched their attack, they found empty buildings and more traps. Admiral Jiwoo's voice came through on their communication systems. A final insult. "You chose war with humans," she said calmly. "Now you understand how we fight. We don't just use weapons, we use our minds. And we've been studying war since we first picked up stones against each other. You never had a chance." The Mindari attack failed completely. Captain Daehyun's ship, the last major Mindari vessel, was surrounded by the Ghost Fleet. Real human ships closed in from behind. "Surrender," Admiral Jiwoo ordered, "or we will show you the final lesson of human warfare." Captain Daehyun stared at the viewscreen in disbelief. His ship was surrounded by human vessels, some real, some decoys, but his sensors couldn't tell which was which. His once mighty fleet was reduced to 3 damaged ships. "I will not surrender to primitives," he growled. His second-in-command, Officer Taejin, stepped closer. "Sir, we have no choice. The Confederation Council has ordered us to stop fighting." "The Council doesn't understand what's at stake. If we show weakness now—" A loud bang shook the ship. The humans had fired a warning shot. On her battleship, Admiral Jiwoo waited patiently. She didn't want to destroy the last Mindari command ship. She wanted it intact. "They're discussing our terms," reported her communications officer. Jiwoo nodded. "Good. Remind them we want Captain Daehyun alive." The battle near Jupiter's moon Europa marked the first major turning point in the war. When Captain Daehyun finally surrendered, humans gained not just a prisoner, but valuable intelligence and the last major Mindari warship. Engineer Myung led the team that studied the captured ship's database. What she found changed everything. "The Mindari aren't the only ones who wanted this war," she told Admiral Jiwoo. "Look at these messages. Some members of the Confederation Council secretly supported them." Jiwoo frowned. "So our fight isn't just with the Mindari?" "No, but we now know who our real enemies are." Meanwhile, Commander Hyunwoo prepared for the most daring mission yet, infiltrating the Confederation's Central Command Station. His team spent weeks studying alien behavior, learning to move and speak like them. "We won't be able to pass as aliens up close," he told his team. "But their station is huge. Most aliens there don't know each other. If we move confidently and avoid direct contact, we can access their systems." Using a captured Mindari shuttle, Hyunwoo's team approached the massive Confederation station orbiting a distant star. They wore modified spacesuits that mimicked alien appearance from a distance. "Security checkpoint ahead," warned Seojin, his second-in-command. "Remember the plan." They sent a false emergency signal just as they reached the checkpoint. When the guards looked away to check the alert, the humans slipped past. Inside the station, they moved quickly to a data terminal. Seojin plugged in a device designed by Lieutenant Suman. "Downloading now," she whispered. 3 minutes. Those 3 minutes felt like hours. Twice, aliens walked past them, but didn't look closely enough to realize they weren't Mindari. The information they stole was priceless. Complete details on every Confederation species, their strengths, their weaknesses, and most importantly, their political divisions. Back on Earth, Admiral Jiwoo called an emergency meeting with all Earth defense leaders. "The Confederation isn't united against us," she explained, showing the stolen data. "Many of their species opposed the war from the start. Some even tried to warn us before the Mindari attacked. General Taiho studied the information, so we can divide them further." "Exactly," said Jiwoo. "And that's how we'll win this war." The next phase of human warfare surprised everyone, including the Confederation. Instead of attacking, humans began broadcasting messages directly to different alien worlds. They showed evidence of the Mindari's unauthorized actions and the secret supporters who had helped them. "We don't want war with all of you," Admiral Jiwoo's message stated. "Our fight is only with those who attacked us first." The response was immediate. Many Confederation species publicly denounced the Mindari actions. Several even offered to help humans end the conflict. The real test came at Proxima Centauri, where the remaining Mindari forces gathered for a final stand. But they weren't just facing humans anymore. 3 Confederation species sent ships to help capture the Mindari leaders. Commander Jiwon led the human fleet at Proxima Centauri. When they arrived, they revealed how much they had learned. Human. Ships now moved with the same speed and precision as alien vessels. Their weapons were just as powerful, but their tactics were uniquely human. "Split into 5 groups," Jiwon ordered. "Use pattern Omega." The human ships moved in ways the Mindari had never seen before, making maneuvers that their tactical computers said were impossible. They used the star's radiation to hide their approaches. They appeared where sensors said they couldn't be. In his cell on Earth, Captain Daehyun watched the battle footage with growing horror. "How did they learn so quickly?" he asked the guard. "We've been fighting wars for thousands of years," the guard replied. "You just gave us better tools." The Battle of Proxima Centauri ended in complete human victory. The remaining Mindari surrendered, along with the Confederation Council members who had secretly supported them. In the Confederation's main chamber, Ambassador Young-ho stood before representatives of 100 alien species. "Humanity did not want this war," he said. "But now that it's ending, we want a seat at this table. We've earned it." The vote was unanimous. Earth would join the Confederation as a full member. And the first item on the agenda, rebuilding what the war had destroyed. The Great Hall of the Confederation sparkled with lights from 1,000 worlds. 1 year had passed since the Battle of Proxima Centauri. Today marked a historic moment. Earth would officially join the Galactic Confederation. Ambassador Junho walked slowly down the central aisle. Behind him came Admiral Jiwoo, General Taiho, and other heroes of what humans now called the First Contact War. Aliens from hundreds of species watched in silence. The Confederation leader, a tall being with blue skin, waited at the front of the hall. "We welcome Earth to our community of worlds," the leader announced. "Though our introduction was marked by conflict, we hope our future holds peace." Junho stepped forward. "Earth accepts this invitation. We have much to learn from you, and perhaps some things to teach as well." The signing ceremony was simple. Earth became the newest member of the Confederation, but everyone knew the balance of power had changed forever. Later that day, in a smaller room, the war crimes trials began. Captain Daehyun and his supporters faced justice before a mixed court of humans and aliens. "You attacked without provocation," said the judge. "You caused the deaths of millions." Daehyun stood proudly. "I did what I thought was right to protect the Confederation from a dangerous species." Admiral Jiwoo, sitting in the witness area, shook her head. "We were never a threat until you made us one." The trials lasted for weeks. In the end, Daehyun and his closest officers were sentenced to help rebuild the Earth cities they had destroyed. They would work alongside the humans they had tried to conquer. While the trials continued, Engineer Myung led the team redesigning the Confederation's defense systems. The war had exposed many weaknesses that humans, with their long history of conflict, quickly noticed. "Your systems assume everyone follows the rules," Myung explained to the alien engineers. "But in war, the rules are the first thing to go." The aliens were surprised by human thinking, but they recognized its value. Soon, many Confederation species were sending their brightest minds to Earth to study human military history and strategy. Commander Hunwoo became the first human to lead a mixed-species defense force. His team included former enemies and new allies, all learning to work together. "The best defense is understanding each other," he told his diverse crew. "That's what we failed to do at first contact." On Earth, cities were being rebuilt with alien technology. Buildings that would have taken years to construct were completed in days. Medical science advanced rapidly as humans and aliens shared knowledge. In what remained of New York, A young girl named Sora played in a new park. Next to her working to plant trees was a Mindari engineer serving his sentence. The girl offered him water from her bottle. "My mom says you're not bad, just wrong," she said simply. The Mindari looked at her with his 4 eyes. "Your mother is wise," he replied. Such scenes became common as former enemies worked side by side. Not everyone forgave so easily, but most recognized that moving forward was better than holding on to hatred. 6 months after Earth joined the Confederation, Admiral Ji-woo was appointed to lead the reform of the galactic governing system. The old structure allowed a small group to start a war without proper authority, she explained to the Council. "We need better checks and balances." Her proposal created a new system where no single species or faction could take major action without broad agreement. The Mindari lost their special status as military leaders, replaced by a diverse defense council that included humans. In schools across the Confederation, the curriculum changed. Young aliens now studied human history, particularly how Earth's many nations had fought each other for centuries before finding ways to cooperate. The humans' greatest strength is not their technology or even their adaptability, a professor told his students on a distant world. It's their ability to learn from their mistakes. They turned thousands of years of warfare into valuable knowledge. On the anniversary of the first attack on Earth, a memorial opened in orbit where people from all worlds could come to remember the lives lost. Admiral Ji-woo stood at the opening ceremony, looking out at the stars. "We didn't choose this war," she said to the gathered crowd. "But we chose how it would end, not with destruction but with a new beginning." Next to her stood the Confederation leader and representatives from 40 alien worlds, including reformed Mindari, who had opposed Captain Daehyun's actions. "The greatest victory," Ji-woo continued, "is not defeating an enemy, but turning them into a friend." As she spoke, ships from across the galaxy flew past in formation, alien and human vessels flying side by side. Their lights formed a pattern against the darkness, the new symbol of the reformed Confederation with Earth prominently included. In the Confederation's great library, a new section was added, the human lesson. The first line read, "Measure your enemies not by their weapons but by their will. Choose your wars carefully, for some species will not just fight. They will teach you the true meaning of warfare before offering you peace."